Good morning. Well, 3,900 hold. Let's take a look. So the Dow was the outperformer yesterday, pushing up to a new all-time high, and things are coming in today. Is this grind higher and a step up, step back, maybe half a step up to half a step back. Anyway, when I see a bar like this one, range expansion, it took out the low, it's closing at the high. Some indecision, like up and down, but it's just another bar that says it better not break that low. And so you can see, the red over here. Things are down a bit. We're going to look at the Dow, and so the market's resilient. Continue to buy the dip. And this consolidation in the Dow anyway has got this upward slope to it. And while some of the connect the dot trend line drawers will be doing this, we just simply look at the last bar, and if it breaks that low, it's going to break any of those lines that some might be drawing. So that low is going to be an important line today in this weakness that we're seeing that the Dow anyway holds. So looking at that and seeing where the Dow futures are, you can see it's almost back down to the low. Now, the other day it had popped up and it got rejected. And yesterday they bought the dip. Now it's getting rejected. It's early on. When you get a recovery like that, you want to see it stay in the top there and try and, continue to move higher. So signs of weakness, but still resilient, buying the dip. And ultimately, we'll see if this looks like it's headed down there. You can see, look at the 5-minute right now. You'll see it's got these, it's just breaking right lower right now. So it looks like it's coming down here. And if it doesn't come all the way back, maybe, trading range, but kind of frustrating. Nothing we can do about it, but kind of frustrating with, all of these up, down, up, down, up, down, looks good down and, back and forth, back and forth. So we'll see. Russ is Walmart miss is what? Yeah, I know, trader, but it's kind of somewhat into the others. Looking at ES, the Dow went up yesterday. Was that an orchestrated? Let me suck some in, to unload. I don't know. In any case, if it was truly bullish and Walmart misses, Walmart might go down, but other stocks will go up, and it wouldn't be coming in like that. So it seems more of profit taking correction so far. That's more sideways than then down. But you see the S&Ps here are coming down to this range. They tested it yesterday, so it's not supposed to come all the way back down again, but it is. So it seems like this area here, where we thought maybe a week or so ago, maybe it could be headed up to 4,000. That's in doubt at this point. And so as it comes down to support, we just see, do they want to step up again, or do we now have a pretty significant top? Well, it's obviously more significant than it was a week ago, as it ran up, and now it's retraced 100% back down to this area here. And so, breaking through here enters the void. And so where's the next level? Right? We discussed, I think it was yesterday, was this area over here. And so can 3,900 hold when we look at it? The S&Ps, as we always do, sort of to relate. No, it's the, as I'm looking at the futures, and look, it could, but how many times can a market or a stock come down to the same level and keep getting rejected and still hold? Well, we all know anything's possible, and we don't know until we know, meaning, when the break happens. But as you get a break to new highs like that, and it comes all the way back down again, and so whether you call it an upside shakeout or a head and shoulders top, I've seen plenty of head and shoulders top fail. But the bigger the pattern gets, that is a representation of distribution, the greater the probability becomes that it's going to break. Now, if it breaks in the short term, for us, because we're focused on the short term as well as the intermediate and long term, well, in the short term, it's significant. But you put it in the context of, what I've discussed as to the power of this move getting well above the prior high and the ability to pull back without damaging the trend is all good. But the ideal situation also, which is not becoming ideal, is that pullbacks within strong moves like this occur before going sideways for too long. Because what we want to see is, the old saying, climbing the wall of worry. Well, the strength of the move up, why is anybody worried? But the picture of the worry is it forms that V kind of a top or an A top, like 3 bars, and it starts pulling back right away where profit taking comes in. But as it pulls back, buyers step up again aggressively. So now as it's going sideways, it says there isn't much worry. Keep buying the dip. Let it go sideways. It's going to break out higher. So if it should fail and it breaks below here, now, of course, you've got hedge funds and traders and that have been buying the dip and saying, what the hell happened here? That's not supposed to happen. And that's what creates additional supply coming in. And then you have a rounding top that is going to be more difficult to get through versus just a V kind of a top. So as things are playing out here, it looks like the rounding kind of a top. You see the head there. Right? There's your intraday, which forming the head and shoulders that we looked at. And so that happening, it increases the potential for a deeper pullback. And so right now we just got this chop back and forth, back and forth. Like we looked at the end of the day, I showed someone had asked about discounting tails. Well, in the room yesterday, when I put a 1-day moving average on, and they said, well, pretty much so far the market's running in place. You look at the closes and it just went up and it's chopping sideways. Fine. Well, the buyers isn't buying the dip. Here it's getting rejected. There's more buying the dip than rejections, but it's going sideways and we wait, right? What's it going to do? In reality, we don't know. So stay away from this for now and wait for it to unfold. But based on here, it seems unlikely 3,900 is going to hold. Qs breaking down, right? It came down here yesterday and it recovered, and now it's right back down again. Rounding top, right? Exactly what I said. Where's it going to go? And drag this down a little bit. It's like right on the edge. And so, it's a big range already. So just based on average range days, I'm looking at them and saying, how much more can it go down? I think if it tagged the 20 MA, which is a subjective reference point, but people are looking at it, maybe it bounces from there. And there's the Dow, right? Getting rejected, but looking better than the NASDAQ. And there's the same top. And best looking one, right? As far as topping patterns, lower high, lower low, very strong move. pulling back, you know, more of an ideal kind of a move and corrective price action and pull back, but it's still got to get to some support and then begin to make a turn. It ain't happening by tomorrow, not unless like tomorrow's a big gap down and then buyers show up. So bonds continuing to go down, getting now touching that area that we've been looking at for quite a while now and entering that, which means interest rates are going up. And maybe the market is getting a little concerned about that. I mean, overall, it's not a bad thing. It's actually what you need to see. In this case where Corona, blah, 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 everything getting shut down and recoveries, you want to see interest rates going up. So I don't know if the market is concerned about that. It usually is about raising interest rates, but because the market always wants the best, whatever it could be. But this is part of the cycle. You can see it's beginning to pop up a little bit more. Good for our ETF traders. Been long this for a while. And oil. Good morning up there. Oil continuing to go up. Inflation, interest rates going up, oil going up, maybe some commodities going up. I haven't looked at corn or soybeans lately. Going up. So, the inflation fears will start yakking if they're not already. Lumber, Dan's building another real estate project. And maybe the gold is going to make that turn that I've been talking about, because I've been flapping my mouth about that for a while. And it's kind of on the edge of where the end of it's got to get turned around, and it's not doing it yet. But silver, holding up much better, but that's not, today is the day, Anthony says. All right, we got to see it turn around, because silver not doing anything, and that's the one that's been leading. But after the nasty red bar, it's been going sideways long enough, and it's got a pivot here and a pivot there. It got rejected from this, and so the spring is getting wound tight enough where this thing's gotta break, I think, pretty soon. And lastly, we looking at the transports, we always do. And one of the things I mentioned yesterday was, hey, where they broke down and then failed, they're back to the top of the range. So you got multiple things. Trading range, transports come back to where their sellers are, markets chopping sideways and getting rejected, and oil going higher, and interest rates and kind of worries. And, so you can get more of a correction within this bull market. And hey, corrections happen. So bring it on if it's going to. But this chop, I'd be happy to see it over with. Here, I'm looking for I don't know which chart. There we go. Just to take a peek at the internals. Their, interest, the breadth is coming down. It's to a neutral level now. Sentiment is still bearish. So the ideal scenario, if the correction is going to come, bring it down. These come down to bullish levels, and then, we resume the uptrend. So running in place some more. All yours, Dan.
All right, good morning. Yeah, we've been talking about this potential turn day for a while, and They still close strong. So the bulls are making it difficult. And not much zero DTE. Well, Dallas, today's Thursday. So zero DTE is tomorrow. But my two favorites here, we've been saying that we're watching some of these Climos when we got a reversal. This CAN, a bearish gap down far from the 20. Riot, um, nice bearish gap here, 71 bucks. So 30-minute low. That's what we were talking about in the green room yesterday, 30-minute low. We'll sell them out of the money call spread. Let's see, taking a look at our opens here. I tightened stops on everything yesterday. BABA, we have a put spread that expires Friday. So even with this gap down though, it should be fine. Locking in a profit. Target here is another not looking good on the gap into this bar. We did a put spread on this, nice bullish engulfing after a greater than 100% retracement. And it's obviously down in sympathy with Walmart. That's an ugly, ugly gap on Walmart. I mean, at least Target is still within yesterday's range. Look at this thing, 139. Wow, that's gap into this prior low. I'm going to put that in a window. That'll be interesting to see what it can do. So right now, it's a nasty gap, but it's a climactic pre-market. So if you had to force me to say long or short, I would say long, but like a 10-minute high, because otherwise this can just go down more and we get it at lower prices. So those I think are the only, that target is the biggest problem. Our other, we got put spreads and call spreads. Airlines down a little bit, but those are fine. So let me continue here with gappers and earnings. Quick, never heard of this, but what a beautiful breakout for this day. February 11, wow. You got the moving average alignment here. And there was even a beautiful 1, 2, 3 back here in January. That was a beautiful 1, 2, 3. But that was beautiful. Now it's gapping up, nothing to do with it though. AMC, I mentioned, breaking out here. The news keeps talking about the GME short squeeze fiasco. They're going to be in congressional hearings today. But, what's making this thing rip right now? I have no idea. But I'm just guessing that it's the Wall Street boys up to their old tricks. But if they are up to their old tricks, this pattern supports a long. So I'm going to put that in a window. Jack X, gapping up 311, 30-minute high. 30-minute high is an idea. Blast it off here, multi-month consolidation. John Williams asking about Amazon rolling over. No, that's not rolling over. 3280 had a nice reversal yesterday, and it's gapping down with the broader market, so that's a big fat neutral. What was rolling over though was Tesla. Tesla has this big M top. We actually shorted it in the green room this day on 210, February 10, and I said target below 800s, and it met it, I think, within a dime. Look at that, within 2 cents. On this day, I said target low 800s. Look at that, low 800.02. That's pretty darn good work. Yeah, that's a earnings shake, 135. Gap's too big for me and no pattern. AVGR, it's a bullish gap. Wow, look at this monthly, just flatlined. So that looks like it's had a number of reverse splits. But that's could be worth watching. That's one like where I said yesterday. It might take a week or two to set up. I saw one of you typing that Pelletier lockup period expired, but it's been down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days already. So yeah, it still looks lower. Somebody in MT Live asked about this chart yesterday, and I said, you're swimming upstream, and you can see, when you're fighting the bigger time frame, that's what happens. Recent IPO, gapping up over intraday resistance. No great pattern, but that's worth watching. USWS, what a beautiful entry. This would have been right out of this rounding bottom here. Now it's gapping up. It's gapping up too much, but that had a nice price void on many time frames. Baidu, that's an ugly pre-market, 292. That now it's I use my pre-market chart if it's liquid like this as part of my decision making to enter day trades. And this is I can't enter this; it's down too much. But it's a definite call spread, an idea also. Seed 2350. It's a bullish gap to the top of the range. Had a bullish close yesterday. That's worth watching. SFTW, man, gapping too much. Don't like the way it trades. Twilio had earnings, 447. It's a bullish gap. Keep an eye on it over the next few days. Stamp, 231. Bearish gap, wow. Maybe, maybe the 200, maybe around 220. We'll keep an eye on that and see if the buyers want to step up. And Max, nice gap breakout, bullish all time frames, although it's getting towards its monthly destination. We can watch it on a pullback. But Dallas, you keep saying 0 DTE. It's 1 DTE. 0 is expiration day. F-SLY, that was an ugly 180 reversal at the high. 87. You just gotta wait and see where the buyers wanna reverse it. But as of now, that looks like kind of a magnet to the 200 also. Moss. Yeah, no, I just didn't want, and it could be a logical error, but I didn't want you to think that today was Friday, and then you put on a trade thinking, oh, this is a good premium for a couple hours, and then you wake up at 4 p.m. It's like, oh, shoot, I got to take another day of risk. Moss had earnings here, bullish daily, weekly, monthly. We'll keep an eye on it. ALB gapping down, no great pattern, but looks lower. Tilray had earnings, marijuana. No pattern on the daily, but some of these are put spread ideas. We do have a put our short put on MJ, the sector, for tomorrow. S wave, no pattern. GMed, no pattern, no gap. SKT, Set an alarm at 15. If this can get going over 15, it has price forward. Jack, no volume, but it's kind of, big reverse head and shoulders if it can break out. Jose asking about Vero. Yeah, we're actually in this one. Yeah, I forgot. This one's also gapping. If you're in it, stop 30-minute low. If you're not in Vero, stay away from it. Andreas, Apple, and Sandal. Apple, there's really no pattern. It's a mess. I mentioned yesterday selling a call spread. Sandals, one of the marijuana stocks we've been following. No pattern, looks lower. Downtrend on the 15. You got a price void still. I would stay away from that. It looks lower. Herbalife gapping down under these 3 bars. Could be a call spread for tomorrow if there's any juice. Sam gapping down 1129. This could also be a call spread, but I think he's typically spreading. Walmart we talked about getting whacked. TRN's bullish, all time frames, no gap. We'll have to come back to it. Dan is me. It's actually bullish daily, weekly, monthly. We'll see what comes up. Stamp we talked about already, Olivier. It's a nasty gap. I think it's a magnet to the 200. Stay away until you see buyers step up. It's too extended to short, and there's no pattern to go long. Anthony JD short day trade. 266. I don't know. It's sold off pre-market. I don't know. Just put it in a window. Oh, I actually posted a short, you all. Where are you? There, let's look at this one. For a new short, look at this, GNOG. And somebody in MT Live brought this to my attention yesterday. I said, because remember yesterday, MT Live, we answered a lot of questions about their picks. And I said, yeah, looks lower, daily, weekly. So for a new short, this one's closer to resistance with a price void. First target, 16 bucks. So actually, let's change it to the pre-market low of 1694. The Norbert STX. STX, it's bullish. Yeah, I mean, it's gapping a resistance, so I wouldn't do it here with a weak market, but 30-minute high, maybe. I'll put it on the list. EPAM, no pattern. AAWW, gap breakout, but I personally don't like slop in the overlapping bars, but